Amid rumors of a mini-nuke attack plan, Russia uses its new Iskander missile for the first time in combat. Putin unleashes the new Iskander-1000 missile for the first time, adding a powerful new weapon to Russia's arsenal. A new version of the nuclear-capable Iskander is reportedly used as Russia faces growing fears of a NATO confrontation. A deadly nuclear-capable missile is reportedly used in an all-day Russian attack on the Ukrainian capital. Not just fighter jets and warships. Is Putin preparing a final weapon for potential confrontation with NATO? Russia has reportedly used its upgraded Iskander-1000 ballistic missile for the first time in combat, introducing a newer variant of the weapon into the war. Russia reportedly deployed the Iskander-1000 for the first time during an attack on Kyiv, according to Military Watch magazine, marking a significant development. Ukraine's Directorate of Intelligence reported that the missile struck a target in Kyiv on August 27, during Russia's large-scale aerial assault. Ukrainian officials identified the missile as the 9M723-2, describing it as an upgraded version of the 9M723-1 missile used by the Iskander-M system. Kyiv residents were forced to shelter inside metro stations during a rare all-day Russian aerial attack, as the capital remained under threat for hours. Explosions in Kyiv began around 3 a.m. on August 27 and continued into the morning, according to the Kyiv Independent, keeping residents on alert through the night. Russia targeted Kyiv with jet-powered drones, while powerful blasts and the sound of Ukrainian air defense fire could be heard across the city. Drone debris was found across several Kyiv districts, including Podilsky, Shevchenkivsky, Holosievsky and Pechersky, according to local reports. The attack also damaged 2 schools and a sports facility, while a fire was reported near the Valery I. Lobanovsky Stadium amid the continuing strikes. Russia also struck warehouses in Kyiv Oblast, injuring at least 1 person, according to Ukraine's State Emergency Service. After midday, another drone fell onto a major road in Kyiv's Holosievsky district, according to Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko. The latest assault came just days after Russia struck a shopping center in Kryvyi Rih, killing at least 16 people in another deadly attack. The strikes also came days after Trump's CIA chief traveled to Russia, reportedly for discussions involving Ukraine and Iran. The Iskander-1000 is reportedly an extended-range derivative of Russia's Iskander-M system, designed to push the missile family's reach significantly farther. The biggest change is believed to be its propulsion system, with a larger engine reportedly giving the missile a range of up to 1,000 kilometers. That would represent a major increase over the Iskander-M's reported range of around 500 kilometers, potentially expanding the system's strike envelope. The larger missile also reportedly requires a modified launch tube, according to Ukrainian reports, indicating changes to the existing Iskander launch architecture. Russia began revealing signs of the Iskander-1000's development in 2024, with reports suggesting production began in early 2025. The new missile has also been linked to a possible deployment in Russia's Kaliningrad exclave, a strategically sensitive position surrounded by NATO territory. From Kaliningrad, a ballistic missile with a reported 1,000-kilometer range could potentially bring large parts of the Baltic region within its strike range. Kremlin-linked sources told Bloomberg that Vladimir Putin is preparing to escalate Russia's war in Ukraine after concluding that peace negotiations have reached a dead end. A growing number of Russian officials reportedly believe that a tactical nuclear weapon could be considered as a last resort measure if Moscow's position deteriorates further. However, Bloomberg reported that there are currently no signs Russia is preparing to use tactical nuclear weapons in Ukraine. Russia has repeatedly issued nuclear threats since the invasion began, using its nuclear arsenal as a tool to intimidate Ukraine and discourage deeper Western military support. Details of Putin's reported escalation plans were carried by Meduza on August 27, citing Bloomberg's reporting and Kremlin-linked sources. Moscow's emerging strategy is reportedly based on the assessment that all meaningful frameworks for a negotiated peace settlement have effectively collapsed. Russia is now weighing an intensification of powerful conventional ballistic missile attacks against Kyiv, rather than an immediate nuclear escalation. Potential targets reportedly include central Kyiv as well as critical infrastructure in other Ukrainian cities, which could increase risks for civilians and essential services. Kremlin sources said, and I quote, "Russian President Vladimir Putin will not end the war under pressure from economic sanctions or Ukrainian strikes on Russian oil refineries and logistics networks." Moscow increasingly views Ukrainian strikes as attacks by NATO member states because alliance members supply Kyiv with weapons and intelligence. Every mechanism for peace talks has collapsed, leaving the two warring sides back where they started. The Kremlin believes that it has already made concessions during the war and that each one weakened Russia's position. In the absence of diplomacy, Moscow sees few ways to achieve its military goals other than further escalation. The intensifying Ukrainian strikes have led a growing number of Russian officials to believe that Putin could eventually take the extreme step of using tactical nuclear weapons in Ukraine. Against the backdrop of sustained tensions between Russia and NATO, the Russian Navy's Baltic Fleet carried out tactical air defense drills near Kaliningrad on August 26. The purpose of the exercise was to rehearse how Baltic Fleet units would respond to and repel a simulated enemy air raid aimed at their naval base and nearby military facilities. Crews from ships stationed at the Baltic naval base carried out their assigned training tasks, including surveillance, target detection, threat classification, and the simulated destruction of hostile aircraft. Under the drill scenario, Su-30 multirole fighters, Mi-24 helicopters and unmanned aerial vehicles from the fleet's drone units acted as the simulated attacking force. After detecting and classifying the incoming targets, the warship crews used their anti-aircraft missile and artillery systems to notionally destroy the simulated enemy force. The drills came amid continuing NATO military activity around the Baltic Sea, where alliance members have increased surveillance, exercises, and force readiness following Russia's war in Ukraine. Russia has previously rejected calls for the Baltic Sea to become what Moscow describes as a NATO inland sea, arguing that the alliance's expanding presence threatens Russia's security interests in the region. President Vladimir Putin has said Russia would respond to any emerging threats to Kaliningrad, a heavily militarized Russian exclave position between NATO members Poland and Lithuania.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you'll have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a banking dynasty meets tides of world history, intrigue, and a dash of myth?
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.